Shalom, Kohalayim La, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone Haruah for teaching me this truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, nearby and scattered abroad. You are the true chosen people of the Most High, according to the scriptures, and the Lord is coming back to deliver you and you only. All right? Peace, love, and blessings. Chaya here back with another video through the spin and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And this one is going to be under the food and drink, all right, the dietary aspect of the scriptures, all right, because this article came out not too long ago. It says calls for insects to be added to processed foods to remove the, quote, disgust factor. All right, and this was posted a day ago. Okay, so I'm going to play the video real quick.
Anyone fancy an insect taco? Yeah, Mexico's taste for eating creepy crawlies could be the answer to ending hunger. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization is encouraging the production of edible insects as a way of combating global hunger. And nowhere has the message been more warmly received than in Mexico, where insects have been parts of the diet for hundreds of years. This restaurant called Don Chon in Mexico City offers insect-based dishes, presenting them to customers as special treats. Customer Hugo is a big fan.
Fortunately, in Mexico, we have a gastronomical tradition, not only with food, but with gastronomy. We know how to eat the maguey worms, how to eat the Eskimos, how to eat the huatl, how to eat a cockle rolls, the tantarius, all the insects the Aztecs used to eat. We now eat out of curiosity, but in the future, out of need.
According to the UN agency, some 2 billion people, a third of the world's population, consume edible insects. Globally, nearly 2,000 species of insects are eaten, including grasshoppers, termites and flies. Yeah, we'll stick to nuts and seeds for now.
All right, so you've seen the video and things of that nature. I'll just go ahead and start off by saying this, man. All right, we do have a dietary law in the Bible, all right, for you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, so we do have a dietary law, and there are certain insects that we can eat, but certain insects that we ought not to eat. All right, like bugs, for example, prime example, bugs like roaches and spiders and snails and scorpions. All right, so there are certain insects and bugs that we can eat, and there are certain insects that we can eat. Okay, so let me actually go ahead. Let's just look it up on Google, right? Let me see insects in Bible. Edible insects in Bible. All right, so there are, this is what it says on Google. It says there are, however, some winged creatures that walk on all fours that you may eat. Those that have jointed legs for hopping on the ground. Of these you may eat any kind of locust, katydid, cricket, or grasshopper. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, beetles is in there somewhere as well. Let me actually look up katydid. Oh, a katydid is like a cricket and things of that nature. But if I'm not mistaken, we can eat beetles as well. Okay, so the thing right now, all right, that the hooty hoo, okay, Charles Schwab and the rest of those guys, all right, they want the people to start eating, bug protein. And if I'm not mistaken, Tyson, all right, has just joined together with a company that actually manufactures and makes bug proteins, that makes insect proteins. Okay. And that's just what we're, going through right now. All right. So insects are about to eating insects is about to become a norm, and they're putting it in your processed foods. Okay. And it's one of those things where, the bread is defiled, which I'm going to go into that, of course, through the spirit. The bread is defiled, man. All right. Then now the food or the bread, it's been defiled okay, since the creation of this place. All right, it was a little, I'll say this, it was a little more normal before the 50s. Okay? After the 50s, after I believe it was World War One. Okay, not World War One, World War Two. Okay, shortly after World War Two, that's when we started getting the ultra processed foods. Okay, ultra processed organisms, because a lot of the things that we're consuming today isn't actually food. Okay, and that happened somewhere around the 50s. Okay, so the insect proteins being added, all right, to the food is just Esau letting you know that he's king, and he's gonna continue to treat us. He's gonna continue to treat us like chattel, man. All right, like the slaves that really we are. Okay, because we are slaves. All right, in this society. All right. So Esau Edom, he's just sneaking more, chemicals. He's sneaking more chemicals. He's sneaking more, fibers and things of that nature in the food. All right, and a lot of people are not going to be aware, man. All right, and as a matter of fact, because this has been going on for a while, this could also answer the question as to why food today tastes so different. I mean, yeah, your taste buds do change over time, okay, but the ingredients to a lot of these foods have changed too. Okay, this is why it's good for brothers to stop being McDonald's and all of these stop eating at fast food places, man. All right, as I said last time, you could look at the Levitical law yourselves. All right, but as I said, in a couple of my videos before, it's more than just not eating pork and other abominable creatures. All right, you got to look at look at your food labels, man. All right, look at your food labels. Okay, look at your food labels and look up the ingredients. Look at the ingredients that Esau Edom is putting in these foods, man. Look at the ingredients, the chemicals, all of these things that these devils are putting in the damn food, man. All right, and avoid them as much as you can. All right. Mark 16:18, it says, "They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover." All right, Yahweh Shah's talking about his disciples. Salakia. Yahweh Shah's talking about his disciples, man. All right, the ones who's, further, doing this work, man. Okay, so because Yahweh Shah knew what was to come in the future. Yahweh Shah knew that our bread was going to be defiled, because what Ezekiel talked about it. All right, which I'm going to get that next. All right, but Ezekiel talked about it, man. All right, so in these latter days, Yahweh Shah knew that we was going to be performing miracles. Yahweh Shah knew that our bread was going to be defiled. Okay, and that's exactly what's going on right now, as was prophesied before. Okay. Just to prove it, let's go ahead and get Ezekiel, Yechazakala, chapter 4, verse 13. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel," you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, "eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." Yeah, the Gentiles is talking about those the heathen nations. All right, anybody outside of the 12 tribes of Israel is heathen nations, man. The so-called whites, the so-called Chinese, the so-called Japanese, Africans, Arabs, you name it. Okay, and that's exactly what's been going on for the past few years, man. All right, we've been eating defiled bread, especially in America, man, because McDonald's, all right, Burger King, Wendy's, all right, Chick-fil-A, all of these spots, all right, they sell you ultra processed foods, man, which is not natural. Okay? And this is why it's good to stay away from those places, man. If you have the capacity to cook at home, then cook at home. All right? So once again, that's what we're going through today, man. We're eating our defiled breads. And once again, there are certain insects in the scriptures that we can eat. And I just pulled it up on Google. You can look it up for yourselves. All right, and just to prove that we can eat those insects, furthermore proven, here's an example right here. All right, let me see. Let me see. Locust, honey. It was John the Baptist. There we go. It was John the Baptist, all right, who came before Yahushua, who was Yahushua's forerunner. All right. He's the one who declared to the people that Yahushua was coming, okay, to what? To save Israel from their sins, man. All right. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3, verse 4. It says, "And the same John had his raiment of camel's hair and a leathern girdle about his loins, and his meat was locust and wild honey." Okay. So John the Baptist, he was eating locusts and wild honey, man. Okay. Locusts, grasshopper, crickets, those are not abominable, creatures to eat. That can be considered food. All right. As a matter of fact, certain brothers may have to eat grasshopper and locusts and things of that nature in the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay. And if it interests you, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing to just go on YouTube and look these things up. All right. Because the scriptures say that my servant shall eat. All right. The scriptures say my servant shall eat, man. All right. So the Lord is not going to leave us hungry in Jacob's trouble if it's our lot to get through the whole thing or get through a good portion of it. All right. If brothers out there in the wild, and because the scripture said we'll be as pilgrims. All right. But nevertheless, all right, there are certain insects that we can't eat according to the scriptures. But, other insects like snails and slugs and spiders and scorpions, we are not to be eating those things. And since we don't know exactly what Esau is putting in the damn, in the food, okay, it would just be best to avoid all of those things altogether. All right. But this is what we're being faced with right now, man. All right. This is what we're being faced with right now. And it says right here in the article, it says insects are protein rich, which when you look at the protein of insects like grasshoppers and things of that nature, you would have to eat a lot of those things to get enough protein, okay, to satiate the body enough, okay, if you will. It says insects are protein rich, easier to farm, lower in fat, and have less of an impact on the environment than livestock, according to researchers, and can help tackle obesity. All right. Having discipline in your lifestyle can also help manage, all right, or help prevent obesity. All right. It says, however, a survey conducted by academics found the majority of people would be unwilling to eat insects. Yeah, of course, because what we've been taken away from the ancient ways, the old paths. All right. And just the thought of eating the insects, yeah, that would creep people out. Okay. It says the online poll of 603 UK adults was carried out between 2019 and 2020. People were asked questions about their age, gender, ethnicity, and education level, as well as their level of concern about the environment. They were also asked to complete a food disgust scale, which rated their disgust as less commonly eaten parts of animals, such as offal, as well as moldy food. The poll also included questions on how they would perceive insects to taste or feel. Almost half, 47%, said they would not be willing to eat insects, while 40% said they were unsure. Only 13% of people who completed the survey said they would be willing to regularly consume, said that they would be willing to regularly consume insects. All right, so there you go. So not a lot of people will eat insects willingly. All right, which is fine. Okay, which that's to be expected. All right, but once again, seeing as Esau is sneaking, more ingredients. All right, more unnatural, a mix of natural and unnatural ingredients into the food. It would be best to just avoid these things altogether, man. All right, so with that being said, Lord's willingness is edifying, and to you sincere brothers out there, our brothers that's really looking after their health and things of that nature. All right, I highly advise you to look at your food labels, look at your ingredients labels, man. All right, get an understanding on what you're eating, because once again, it's more than just eating. It's more than just not eating pork, all right, and shrimp and crab and lobster and all of those abominable beasts. It's more than that. All right, watch out for these ingredients that Esau puts in the food. Lord's willingness is edifying. Shalom.